All right, guys, welcome back for another one. We have another amp that is sitting here because of a suggestion. And shout out to, I'll refer to him as SPW. He'll know who he is. You guys can see him in the comments. But he was interested in seeing this amplifier dynoed and just wanted to see what it actually put out. And it's not really an amp that was on my radar. SSL has been on my radar for, the entire length of the channel. But I've never picked one up. You guys will know, y'all have commented several times. I think the three brands that are for sure connected are SSL, Boss, and Planet Audio. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong there and chime in if there's any more that belong to that parent company. But SPW asked me to check out this amp, and then when I did, I got interested as well when I was looking at the specs and everything about it. And I thought, yeah, why not? It's in a price range that makes sense for me. And don't think that I don't hear all of y'all's comments. Trust me. Or see y'all's comments. I read them all. I see all the amp suggestions, but occasionally you guys will suggest something that's $300 or $400, something a little bit on the pricey side for me. It's hard for me to recoup my money on those because somebody would want me to discount that amp by, $100 or something to, sell it used like I do. So it's a little tough for me to pick up something that's kind of pricey. But this one was not. And look, guys, hopefully the channel will get to that point where I can afford to do those high dollar amps. It's not that I don't ever want to do them. I do. All right. So this is a 4-channel. It's a Class AB. You guys should be able to see here. This is the EV4.1000. See right there, Evolution, high output. We'll find out soon enough if it's high output or not. This one came like this. It was shipped in this box. I'm not really opposed to that necessarily, because normally, to be honest, they show up in good shape. But this one did have that. I have not opened it yet. And let me tell you real quick, I paid, so this amp at the time that I bought it, which was just a week ago, it came in a few days ago, I gave $103.89 on Amazon. With tax, it was $112.20. So, see, the tape is still. Let me get this thing open for you guys. Forgot to bring my knife over here with me. Let's check this thing out. You guys will see it with me the first time here. Owner's manual. Oh, sticker. Let's see. I will tell you this. I've got 3 amps. I'm pushing this one up by about a week. I've got 3 brand new amps sitting here. I haven't unboxed any of them. I like to kind of stay ahead with what I got coming out, and I stay 1 week ahead on the videos that are uploaded, and then I just wait to make them private every Sunday morning at 7 o'clock. But I jumped a week ahead because this was the last amp that came in. Did I say that right? I don't know that it was the last amp that came in, but it was the last amp that I ordered. And so I'm jumping ahead because it was suggested, and the other 2 were not. So, all right, cool. Get a bass knob with this. That's cool because keep in mind, this is a 4-channel. So, that's interesting. High-level inputs, 2 sets of high-level inputs, extra fuses. What size? Oh, man, they're only 15s. 2 extra 15-amp fuses. I'll tell you right off, that don't sound like a good sign that this thing is going to do 1,000 watts. But this amp weighs, what I was about to get at, almost double what those other 2 amps weigh. And one of those amps I think claims to be a 1600, and the other one claims to be a 2K. And this one, that's a pretty hefty little amp. So I'll tell you, I like the way it looks. I think their amps look kind of cool. So let's check out this end. So there's those 15 amp fuses. So we do at least have 2 in the amp at the same time as opposed to just 1. But that makes sense. It's a 4-channel for it to have two like that. So here's our terminals. So you've got channel 1, 2, 3, 4, and then bridge mode looks like the positive and the negative from each here. So we will be testing it that way. We will hook up the 2 AMM1s at the same time, and we'll test these channels, 1 and 2 against 3 and 4 at the same time with it bridged. And then here's your inputs, power connections. You do get the larger power and ground. That is pretty typical. They usually are larger, but occasionally a cheap little amp will just have the same size terminals all the way across. But I still am surprised at what this thing weighs. At the end of the video, we will probably take the bottom plate off of this, see if we can figure out why this amp has that heft to it. So on this side, I will tell you this, I think everything is clean looking, looks pretty sharp. SSL EV4.1000, those 2 inputs, high level inputs. Then we got low level inputs, 2 sets of those as well. And then your controls, and it looks like you have full controls. Let's look at this closely here, because we do have that bass knob. So the filter mode, let's look at this. 80 to 120, 80 to 120, 50 to 120. You switch that to full or low pass. I mean, a high, full, or low pass. And on this side over here, 80 to 120, 50 to 250, 80, 120, 50 to 250. Bass boost, 0 to 18, 0 to 18. Everything is exactly the same across these channels. We'll check out the owner's manual. One of these channels, one of these bridged channels probably runs off of this bass knob, but it does say right there, remote subwoofer control. So that gives you some really cool flexibility there with running a couple of channels on some door speakers and bridging the other 2 channels to 1 and running a subwoofer off of that other channel. But here's the secret, guys. You could do that with an RCA bass knob anyway on any 4-channel amp. I don't ever hear anybody talk about that, but you could just run a bass knob off of 1 set of RCAs and have a remote for the second 2 channels that would be bridged. Anyhow, that's it. Let's get this thing. Well, let's look at the bottom real quick. I see anything extra on there that you guys might need to know or would want to know? No, not really. Made in Malaysia. How about that? That's different. All right, let's get it hooked up on the bench, and first just see if it turns on. I'll thumb through that manual in the meantime, and when we come back, we'll probably check out some of that manual as well. All right, just a second. Sit tight for me, please. All right, guys, I did thumb through the book for you. On the very last page is the ratings, all the way there on the left, the EV4. You see there, this is interesting. They give us the 2 ohm numbers at 4 channels. That's 250 by 4. And then the bridged 500 by 2. So they are calling this a 1000. I'm surprised to see that they didn't give us 4 channels, 4 ohm. You also see this is a full range amp. The frequency response is 9 hertz to 50K. The other thing is I thumbed all through this manual, and in case I missed it, I could not figure out which channels the remote went to. It's possible it might run the whole amp, I will definitely search that out and let you guys know. The knob is nice and smooth. It is plastic. There's no lights. It's hardwired on this end, and the other end, of course, is that telephone connection. But let's turn it on. I have not turned it on yet. You guys are going to see this with me for the first time. So let's turn it on. I don't know what lights. Let me turn my light out. Just see what if there's any lights. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, that's right. We did have that light on this end. Boy, it's bright. Look at it there. So nothing on the front, nothing on this end. Looks like we're gonna have one little light over here. Y'all saw it came right on as blue right away. It does have a protect light as well. I don't think I mentioned that a while ago. Okay, we'll probably do the 40 hertz and 1 kilohertz. And yeah, let's get to that. All right, guys, a couple of things. It took me a while to figure this out, but the bass knob, real quick, it only runs channels 3 and 4, and it only runs those channels when the switch, the little slider switch, is switched over to low pass. If that slider is on full range or high pass, it does not work the bass knob. And I tried that at both frequencies. I tried it at every combination just to be sure. So this run right here is going to be 8 ohms bridged, which the book does not say. So that would be like up there at the top, instead of 250 by 4, this would essentially be the same as 125 by 4. But since we're bridged, what we're really looking for is 250 by 2. So we're starting off at 14.8 volts, and we are going to capture the current. Let me zero this out because I have been playing around off camera a little bit. All right, this first run is going to be at 40 hertz, but we are going to do 1K as well. Let's get to the run. Are we going to see 250 by 2? I've got these two gain matched as close as possible. Come on. 53 on channels 1 and 2. And 50 on channels 3 and 4. So nowhere close to 250 by 2. The voltage never dropped. That current draw was 18.4. Wow. But keep in mind, guys, this is, well, that's 8 ohms, but it's 8 ohms bridged. That's the same as if you had all 4 channels hooked up at 4 ohms a piece. Right there, you would have got about 25 watts per channel. Let's see what it does at 1K. Okay, here we go. 1 kilohertz. What do we get? 250 by 2? What do y'all think? Probably not, right? 53 and 49. I mean, essentially the same thing. Another 18 amps of current. So, wow. You know, that's basically 25 watts per channel at all 4 channels. Let's rewire this to 4 ohms on the resistors. Sit tight, I'll be right back. All right, guys, we're wired up at 4 ohms bridged. So this will be the same as that 2 ohms by 4. So essentially, instead of 250 by 4, what we would be looking for is 500 by 2. Well, yeah. What am I thinking? That run right there is the way that we would be wired up right now. So y'all know we fell way short on the other test, but let's see what this one does. All right. Are we going to see 500 by 2? We're going to do 40 hertz first. Here we go. 40 hertz. What are we going to see? Wow, 71 and 64. The voltage didn't drop, and the current draw was 27.6. Let's zero these out, and let's go straight into the 1K. We're falling way short, guys. Same run. Let me zero out the clamp as well. Here goes that 1K run. 1 kilohertz. $72 and 66. The voltage didn't drop, and the current draw was 28.2. Guys, we are falling extremely short on this one. There's only a couple other things we could do. I mean, that's the max rating in the book, that run that we just did. But we can do this run dynamically, and then we could also drop the ohm load to something lower than what the amp is rated to do. So let's do one, if not both of those things. All right, guys, let's do that dynamic run. 40 hertz first. This is at 4 ohms bridged. This is definitely the max that this amp is rated to go. Let's start the track. Oh, we're gonna see 500 by 2. No, not even close. Wow. Wow, guys. I don't know why that amp didn't do more than that dynamically, but it didn't. Anyhow, guys, this is I don't know. Let's drop the ohm load down. I'm not even a big fan of doing this, to be honest, but let's drop the ohm load down and see if we get any more power out of this amp. But that run right there was the max that this thing is supposed to do. Now we're going to get into that territory of doing what the amp's not going to want to do. All right. I forgot to do the 1K burst, but let's do that now. 1K, 500 by 2. Come on, baby. What? Wow. Wow, okay. All right, guys, we're wired to 2 ohms bridged. This amp isn't rated to do this. I hope it's got some good protection circuits in it, because I don't want to blow it up. And just to explain why it looks like this is stopping short, I've got the gain turned up enough to turn the clip light on when I'm rolling it up on the sine wave. And it's sometimes these clip lights will flash during the bursts. If it looks like I'm not turning it up enough, I'm turning it up the exact same amount. And I just don't want to turn the gain up even more than it already is, because like I said, it's plenty for those other normal runs. But 40 hertz, 2 ohms bridged. Here we go. I hope it don't blow. 40 hertz. No, it don't like that. Oh, no wonder it went into protect. Dang. All right, so is it gonna come out of protect? Turn the amp off, back on. It did come out of protect. Guys, I cannot believe how low of output this thing is. But look, we knew it's got 2 15 amp fuses, which told us we would see 300 watts, but we didn't even get close to that. I don't know that we even got half. I don't think we got 2, but about half of that. So for the heck of it, 1K burst, 2 ohms bridged, 77 and 48, and it went into protect again. Is it going to come out of protect? Yes. Guys, I cannot believe this. This amp is a little over $100. Unreal. I don't even know if I want to hook it up to any speakers. I'm gonna be honest with you, speakers or subwoofers. I'm torn about that. I'm gonna think about it, but we are gonna take the back plate off of it. So, all right, hold on for me just a second. All right, guys, here you go. Here's the gut shot. Ooh-wee. Not a whole lot going on in here. a lot of really tiny components. That is probably the smallest transformer. How can I show y'all? This is the end of my screwdriver. That is probably the smallest transformer that I've ever seen. So there's you about 140 watts worth of guts. There's not too much hiding under there either. Guys, I don't know about this one. This is probably one of the biggest disappointments I've ever had on my test bench. Not that we haven't had some tiny little amps on here, but the fact that this thing does about 140 watts and it's over $100, that's a little crazy. By today's standards, for $100, you can get 1,000 watts. Easy. You can get over 1,000 watts. So I don't know. I kind of would like to test their 2 mono blocks that are listed in that manual, but I'll be honest, guys, I don't know if I want to spend the money on anything like that. I don't know what I'll have to sell this amp for. So I don't know. This one here, I'd like to have seen this thing do at least 300 or 400 watts, but it's nowhere close to that. All right, well, there you go. Again, this is suggested by a comment. Thank you for all the comments, subscribes, likes, everything, guys. Keep it up. You keep it up, and I'll keep it up. Please let me know what you'd like for me to test next, because there's a chance I may just pick up the very amp that's your suggestion. So there we go. I'm not going to waste my time hooking this up to any speakers, to be honest. So that's it for this video. But again, guys, thank you so much for watching. All right, guys, I realized that I said something that wasn't fair. When I said that you could get over 1,000 watts for $100 by today's standards, you can, by the way, but in a mono block. That's probably not true for a 4-channel. Y'all chime in if y'all know a 4-channel. Let's just call it 1,000 watts for $100 and a 4-channel. So that's probably not true. But can you do a whole lot better than 140 or 150? What does that come out to be? Yeah, it was less than 140, right? Speaking of, I want to do that 1K. The best output that this thing really did was where it did 72 on channels 1 and 2 bridged, and 66 on channels 3 and 4 bridged. That was at 1K, 4 ohms, uncertified. So there's your real output, 72 and 66. So yeah, it's not even 140. I don't know, guys. Anyhow, that's it. Thanks for watching.